This is a meeting of the Township Committee, September 19th, 2022. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press, the Independent, and the True River Times, and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building and filing with the Township Clerk on January 7th, 2022. Committeeman Clark.
Here.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Here.
Committeeman Sedembrino. Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Here.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item on tonight's agenda, we have some.
Moment of silence.
I'm sorry, excuse me. At this time, we have a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you.
Heidi, before we go on, I just want to do one thing. First of all, good evening, everybody. Obviously, we have had a few losses that not only our township, but our world has had over the last few weeks since our last meeting. But I just want to point out one in particular, Matt Morrow, who was a Middletown resident and a member not only of our open space committee, but our environmental committee, and somebody that I really got to admire and know over the course of my tenure here on the township committee. So I would just ask if tonight is his wake and tomorrow is his funeral. Just ask everybody if we could just stand and have a moment of silence. He passed away in Ortley Beach over the weekend while swimming. Thank you all. All right, Heidi.
We have a few proclamations for the record tonight. We have a proclamation recognizing September 25th, 2022 as Gold Star Mothers and Families Day in the Township of Middletown. We have a proclamation recognizing October 22nd, 2022 as Make a Difference Month in the Township of Middletown. A proclamation recognizing October 2022 as Substance Use Prevention Month in the Township of Middletown. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have the approval of minutes for August 15th, 2022 regular meeting and September 6th, 2022 workshop meeting.
All right, any questions on that? Okay, motion to approve. Seconded by Deputy Mayor.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve minutes.
Okay.
Our next item, we have a public hearing on proposed ordinances. Our first public hearing, 2022-3345, Bond Ordinance providing an appropriation of $300,000 for construction of a portion of the cost of a dog park and dog park parking lot in Tyndall Park by and for the Township of Middletown in the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $285,000 in bonds or notes of the Township for financing part of the appropriation.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2022-3345? Yep, come on up, Don.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. My name's Don Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive. And I was reading the title of this ordinance here, and it says, build a portion of the dog park. What portion is this going to pay for?
What portion?
Yes.
So this is also part of our, part of the open space grant that we received some, I think, 2 years ago. So
Right.
part of it will be open space money and part of it will be from the county and part of it's being financed by, the other half is being financed by us.
Okay. So the other portion is being paid for
Yes,
by the open space grant.
correct.
Okay, I was just curious about
Okay.
that. Thank you.
No problem, Don. Thank you. Any other member of the public wishing to speak? Yes, sir. Come right up to the microphone. I'm happy with you going from the back, but for the record, I gotta have you come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Thomas Emerson, 6 Village Lane, Middletown.
Okay.
Just on that matter, there's $300,000 being paid from being apportioned and 280 something as a bond. Will that be the total cost of the park? Also, the bond, I read somewhere where it said the interest rate paid is at the discretion of the financial officer and the time of the bond. Will they be revealed to the public what the rate's going to be on the bond?
Of course.
And what is the total cost of it? Is that, or is that
Of
not?
the park?
Yes.
Well, some of those costs aren't even determined yet, like for the tennis courts and for, anything else that's happening that we're doing in terms of signage at the front of Tyndall Park, new fencing, tree trimming that I think we've done already, right, Ted? Yeah. So just to redo all of Tyndall Park, we are just taking it segment by segment.
So it's more than just a dog park?
Yes, sir. Yeah, all those, we plan on looking at the lighting in Tyndall Park to change over to LEDs. We will have in our capital bond ordinance a new SkyLogic system, which will allow us to remotely turn on and off the lights that are over there. In some areas, we have them like Normandy Park right now. We already have that capability. But in some of our other parks, we don't have that. So we are trying to go with a consistent platform that Ted, as our Public Works Director, as well as Janet Dellett, our Recreation Director, can utilize to turn off and actually time out those lights. So they, for the North tennis team,
Right.
not normally them because they're practicing much earlier in the day. But anybody that utilizes those courts afterwards, we can time those so they're dusk to dawn, whatever the case may be, to have them timed properly.
Okay.
So there's a lot that goes into it. The 300,000 is just one very small piece.
And yeah, I was on the assumption it was just the dog park, which costing all that money, 580 some thousand. But as you
Well,
explained,
that
it's a lot-
is.
That's all
that's
going
the
to
dog
the-
park and the parking lot.
that amount.
That amount. The rest of it, this is a,
Oh, no, an additional.
there's going to be another $1 million worth of work that will easily.
Multi-phase
Yeah.
project.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful park, and if something could be done on the path, I walk the path a lot, and it's a really
I
nice,
agree. Yeah.
nice walk, maybe some lights. And what a shame with those library walks, that's out of your hands, I guess, right? The vandalism that was done, are you
Yeah.
familiar with that?
Well, I mean, we help them with the
Yeah.
library walks, but they really maintain them.
Which is, has anybody seen those?
The library, directly behind the library.
Yes.
Yeah, I was actually on the
But-
library board when we first did it. Yeah.
They've been vandalized for a number of months now.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But just a consideration to see whether or not that could be, it's great for kids. Red Bank has one where the walk and so on.
Yeah, and they tell the story. For those
Yeah.
folks that don't know, they tell the story. They pick different books and they
Right.
tell a full story through this trail.
Yeah, and you saw a lot of family, young kids use it with their moms and dads. Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Any other member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2022-3345? Okay, seeing no other member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Committeewoman Kratz. Heidi?
Committeeman Clark?
Yes.
Committeewoman Katz? Yes. Deputy Mayor Hybel?
Yes.
Mayor Perry?
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading.
Yeah, Hybel says he was reading.
Our next ordinance for public hearing, 2022-3352, an ordinance amending 2022 management salaries.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2022-3352? Go ahead, Don.
Good evening. My name's Don Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive. And I was looking at the list of the management salaries, and there's quite a few employees there that aren't management. There is a reason why they're on the list.
That aren't management?
Yeah,
Like,
like secretaries?
Those positions have always been on the salary ordinance. Like for the mayor's office secretary,
Yeah, that's one of them.
that's always been on the salary ordinance.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Don.
Yep.
Any other member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 3352? Seeing no other member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve. There we go.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. Our next ordinance for public hearing, 2022-3353, an ordinance amending Chapter 84-7B of the Code of the Township of Middletown, governing the number of sworn police officers permitted to be employed.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2022-3353? Chief, you want to speak on this ordinance or no? I didn't know if you were in favor of or against it. All right, any member of the public? All right, seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. This time we have.
Chiefs, with the chief's opposition noted. All right. Go ahead,
Introduction
Heidi.
of proposed ordinances, 2022-3354. Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $1,517,000 for various park improvements by and for the Township of Middletown in the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $1,114,825 in bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held October 3rd, 2022. Our next ordinance for introduction, 2022-3355, a bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $3,467,000 for various capital improvements by and for the Township of Middletown in the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $3,293,650 in bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held October 3rd, 2022. Our next ordinance for introduction, we have the 2022-3356, an ordinance governing regulation of short-term rentals of real property and associated amenities.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held October 3rd, 2022. At this time, I'd like to ask the Township Committee to adopt a consent agenda, which would include resolutions 22-243 through resolution 22-253, including bingo and raffle applications.
Oh, we're pulling two, I think. 247 and 251.
Okay, for separate vote, we have 22-247 and 22-251
Yes.
for separate votes.
So the consent agenda would include resolutions 22-243 through 22-253, including bingo and raffle applications, taking 22-247 and 22-251 for separate vote. Motion.
Second.
Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt consent agenda. At this time, we have resolution 22-247, resolution authorizing award of contract for professional engineering services for the 2022 Mcmahon Park Improvement Project.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Recuse.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Yes.
Carries to adopt Resolution 22-247 with recusal noted. This time we have Resolution 22-251, a resolution authorizing award of contract for professional engineering services for construction administration.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Recuse.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt Resolution 22-251 with recusal noted.
All right. Township Committee comments. Committeeman Clark.
Just real quick, just want to remind everybody that there's always options. We had another incident in town recently that involved suicide, and just remember, you always have somebody. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Clark. Committeewoman Kratz.
I had the honor of attending on Friday evening the POW MIA ceremony at the VFW in Port Monmouth, and it was my honor to attend again this year. What a moving and wonderful tribute to those servicemen and women who have fallen, who were otherwise captured also. So a wonderful ceremony to honor their families and to make sure that they are not forgotten. And ceremonies like what happened at the VFW happened all over the country, and just a testament to the honor that our country has for our fallen. So it was an honor to be there. And on Saturday, also had the privilege of attending, also back at the VFW, a lovely event to raise money for autism for Oasis Farms. And it was a wonderful event that actually I just was told that raised $12,000 for Oasis for autism. So I was really thrilled to be there. So just want to thank them for having me. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Deputy Mayor.
I just want to give a shout out to Ian Sullivan. He just received his Eagle Scout on Saturday. Was able to attend. Good family. Going to CBA, doing a great job. So that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Just briefly, again, my heart goes out to the Morrow family. Really a very good individual, and Matt was just an individual that was always looking to, he didn't want to ruffle feathers, he didn't want to do anything, he just wanted to help build a great Middletown, and I appreciate that of him, and I appreciate his service, both as somebody who was always willing to give me advice, tips on different projects, and one, Tony Mercantante's not here tonight, but one thing that Matt always did was when we needed, Matt was an LSRP, and when we needed just quick guidance on something, Matt was always willing to step up and just give that piece of advice, not because he was billing us, not because of anything else. He did it for free on his own time, and I just appreciated that of him. So my heart goes out to his family in what is definitely a tragic death. I'll echo the comments of Committeeman Clark. Please remember, anybody out there that needs help, 988 is the suicide hotline, and that is 911. When you need assistance because you have mental health issues, 988 is your avenue. So please utilize that resource. I want to thank the Monmouth Museum. I do have to give them a shout out. Last week on Thursday, I was honored to get the first Community Leadership Award that they had provided, and I just want to thank them. They are an incredible place, and one that I saw right at the beginning of the pandemic, and one that I could see Erica's vision. I could see what she was wanted to do over there, and I just want to give the Monmouth Museum a huge shout out and a huge thank you for all that they do for our community. If you haven't gone and seen their exhibit on voting, it's amazing. It's very cool. They have, I don't know how else to describe it, for political dorks like me, George Washington's inaugural button that they have on display. It's just really incredible. So I encourage everybody to go out and visit there. But they opened up their innovation lab, which is upstairs, and it is full of great things to teach kids about STEM and STEM programs and really getting them excited about science and technology. So I hope everybody has the opportunity to get out there. Middletown Day, don't forget, Saturday is Middletown Day, September 24th from 11 to 5 over at Croydon on the Great Lawn over there. Please, it's a wonderful day. It's a day to celebrate our great town, and I hope to see you over there. On Sunday, the deputy mayor and I was over at the Love for Luca 5K. If you were not here for our last meeting, Luca Iacono was diagnosed with pediatric cancer. He participated actually in what had to be one of the coolest Make-A-Wish episodes that you're going to see. And he, I think Luca is helping Aaron Judge out right now. There's no doubt about it, because for Luca's Make-A-Wish, he got to hang out with Aaron Judge. And as Aaron Judge approaches the true home run record of Roger Maris at 62, I think Luca's helping him out. And Luca was a little boy who, when he walked into a room, his smile lit it up. And at our last township committee meeting, we had his mom and dad, Frank and Michelle, and to see 300 plus runners and walkers gather over at North on Sunday was really great to see, raising money to support a great cause and in celebration of a great little boy. So I want to give a great shout out to them. Sorry, I was getting nervous when our fire marshal starts calling me. Two things that we did tonight, I just want to bring attention to. One, I want to thank Chief Weber for his assistance. Tonight, we introduced the ordinance to increase the number of police officers allowed by ordinance, and that comes with our shared service agreement with the Board of Education, along with some other things, including a community relations department, which I know is very important to the chief, important to me. And I want to thank him for that. And obviously, it'll be up for public discussion at the next meeting. But Chief, thanks always for your leadership. And then the short-term rental ordinance that we introduced today. This is really an important one. Currently, we do not allow for short-term rentals, so anything less than 30 days. But I just want something to be clear. If you are renting your home on Airbnb, if you are renting out your swimming pool for a day, for 5 days, for 15 days, for 29 days, that is not allowed in Middletown Township. It is not allowed in Middletown Township, period. This ordinance, while this is already not allowed in the town, this ordinance clarifies some of the new apps that we're seeing come out there and puts that into black and white. But I just want to be clear that short-term rentals like that are not allowed in town. And then finally, improvements to Mcmahon Park. Mcmahon is one of our largest parks, and we are very excited about the improvements that we are undertaking by introducing this ordinance tonight and working towards ensuring that Mcmahon is a great park for the next 50 years. So I want to thank Ted and Janet and everybody that was working on that. With that being said, I have nothing further. I'll open up for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment can come right up to the microphone. We ask that you just state your name and address for the record. We ask that you keep your comments to 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll let you know that you have 1 minute remaining. With that being said, any member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Yeah, Melanie, come on down. See, I always want to say, the price is right, and I know what you're going to ask, so.
Good evening. My name is Melanie Elmiger, 43 Green Tree Terrace in Lincroft. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Lincroft Village Green Association. of which I'm a board member. In Mr. Mercantante's absence, can I have an update on the two-way Acme Road or?
You can, in our capital ordinance, you will see that we are set to place funds in that capital ordinance for the acquisition of the,
That's 3355?
yes,
Okay,
of the Acme Road.
okay. All right, so,
That's the best update I can give you.
okay. Our board is very concerned about the accidents at exit 109 of the Garden State Parkway at Newman Springs Road 520. You know, there's a Lifetime Fitness that is starting to be built there. And there's an alarming number of people running the red lights and hitting cars that are leaving the Parkway north exit to either cross to Schultz Drive or make a left or left into Lincroft. I guess my concern is this a township, county, and, you know, Parkway Authority or Turnpike Authority collaboration? That's something that they are addressing, looking at? I mean, whose attention does this go
Well,
to?
the first thing I'll do is I'll ask the chief to just give me a briefing and an update as to how many accidents, if we're seeing you know, a larger number of accidents. And the chief can easily run that report for me. So
Okay.
just let me take a look at.
I think it's something to look at, something
Okay.
to really collaborate on and try to address before there's more cars coming to that area. I think there's some anticipation with the lights, that people are anxious, they're stuck in traffic. There's a lot of rear ends going west because it's such a bottleneck there getting to the Parkway. But in particular, they may need to change the timing of the lights.
And that
So-
very well could be. So I'll ask that the chief run that report. And since he's here, it's easy.
I know there's
Uh,
been 7 this year, 2 very
We'll
severe.
compare that to
Yeah,
year over year to see
Right.
what
See
the
if it's
difference is.
increased,
between it.
yeah.
But, you know, if that's the case, it could be a discussion between the county, obviously,
Mhm.
the Turnpike Authority, and the township in terms
Okay.
of the timing on those lights. And
Okay.
if certain adjustments need to be made to them to prevent such accidents.
Okay. And then lastly, Committeeman Sedembrino is not here, but Deputy Mayor Hybel is. The League of Women Voters of the Greater Red Bank area is, the Lincroft Village Green Association is sponsoring a candidates night that they are hosting on Zoom. And they've sent invitations to both you and Committeeman Sedembrino, and they haven't gotten your RSVP. Can I give you the forms, or do you know tonight whether or not you can attend?
No, you can. They had my email wrong and they just sent me another one back. So we're just checking availability on the date.
Okay,
So I do have the date.
okay. Do you think you can get in touch with them?
Yeah, they spelled my name wrong. I'm a little surprised. They've been to 2 of them so far, so.
Okay. All right. I think they sent it to 2 addresses too, but.
I wanted
okay.
to have one last year.
Yeah, you can't bring that up.
I know.
Okay. They have their rules, let's put it that way. You know, the LVGA always hosted a candidates night. It got extremely expensive. We'd have to rent the school, janitorial, get police presence. And, you know, COVID allowed us the opportunity to do it on Zoom. And 2 years ago, when we had it with Patricia Snell, I thought it was very successful. It was very cordial. It was very informative. It was very well received by the public, and I'm expecting the same for this, if everyone's able to come. If Committeeman Sedembrino cannot come,
We'll get
Then
it
it-
to them, but if you
yeah.
want to give it to,
Oh, it's-
just give it to Laura. Just give them to Laura and she'll get it to both of them.
okay. And one last comment, I
Yes.
did email this to Ted. The DPW is doing a wonderful job cutting the parks. Horsey Park and Stevenson's very wide. The weeds are held back, you know, it's very short, so, you know, you can walk it without, you know, the ticks and all that.
Brushing up against everything.
Yeah, so they've done a very good job despite the heat and terrible conditions. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Our parks maintenance, great job. Okay, any other member? Yes, sir, come on down. Yeah, you have to come up again. State your name and address again.
Tom Emerson, 6 Village Lane. Just quickly on the number of engineering projects that are coming up, Mcmahon, and I think there was another one. 6 months or a year ago, there was an article on the front page of the press about some environmental regulations or processes that were being put in place that I think recommended by the state, and Middletown adopted it. And I'm sorry, I don't know the details on it, and I think they're supposed to be applied for major projects. Would these projects fall under those guidelines?
No, those, you're talking about the stormwater management?
I don't think it was specifically stormwater. Well, I should get my facts
The-
straight. Perhaps it was, but I thought it was more a wider breadth on environmental development, construction. Perhaps it was.
Yeah, so the stormwater management one, that's obviously not for parks. Those are for, large commercial
Commercial projects.
areas, which we did adopt, those stormwater management best practices and those ordinances that are required. But I don't know of any, at least not off the top of my head, any regulations that were required by the Department of Environmental Protection, like the stormwater management
Okay.
ones for parks. Ted, can you think of any? The stormwater was the big one last year.
Right, that was the stormwater ordinance. You
Okay.
made the change to it, but none of these would apply because they're already developed.
Right, yeah, the commercial stuff.
And,
I was thinking.
and most of them are they're not impervious surfaces, right? That's where those are really
I mean,
applying.
the courts in sense could be and so on, but
They are, but very, very small. We're not talking
not
about,
a Sears.
we're not talking about ShopRite's parking lot, so, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
Those would not apply
That
here.
answers great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other member of the public wish to make, yeah, Bill?
William Brunt, Kings Highway, Middletown. I just wanted to commend the committee for revisiting the police ordinance to expand the number of police officers on the police department. As you know, I was a police officer for 31 years. I retired as a deputy chief out of Middletown Police. Middletown Police are near and dear to me. And for as long as I can remember, it was 106, 107. In the meantime, the number of people in the town have grown. We've added more liquor licenses. There's all kinds of business coming into town. And it's really, it's about time. If you look at a little town like Highlands, it's a little over 1 square mile. They have 5 policemen per 1,000. We're at less than 2. It's really good that you're revisiting this. It's going to help. It's going to help the town. I think it's a good idea, and I have to commend you for taking a look at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Just on that, first off, Bill, thank you. Yeah, especially given the fact that, one of our police officers is fully dedicated to the New Jersey Auto Theft Task Force, right? So, you have one individual who is being paid by Middletown that is working for a state task force. You have all these different, while our population in the last decade has only fluctuated by 900 people, you look at all the different things that are required of police departments, right? We're sending police officers all across the county to assist in mutual aid. Where, through COVID, we burnt out so many of our police officers because of, flexing regulations that were occurring on how long they had to be out for, and you burn people out eventually when stuff like that happens. And, you have police officers who are handling drones. You have police officers who are doing all this new technology. They're on our SWAT teams. They're doing all these different aspects of the job. And when more and more municipalities are unfortunately shrinking their police departments due to the lack of applicants to the academies. I mean, just some time ago, I remember the chief telling me that we had the state of New Jersey had 1,200 applicants in a single class. And just 2 years ago, we had 200 and some odd in the class. So at a time when we're able to pull police officers from other municipalities that have had experience and are moving over, we've been doing that, which is a great testament to our department that people want to come and work for us. There's a proud tradition in the Middletown Township Police Department approaching its 100th anniversary in the not too far distant future, just only 4 years or so away. And there is certainly, we put class 3 police officers in all of our schools. We have police officers that are training to become school resource officers. You have all these different aspects of the job that 30 years ago, you would have never even thought about. And today, you have police officers who are getting FAA licenses to fly drones because we need to take a look at, Hartshorn Woods for missing persons, and we're utilizing this technology. So it's something that I think all of us can be proud of.
Can't forget about the guys that are working undercover every day too.
I try not to bring them up because I don't want people to think about those guys, because they're the ones that jam you in the end.
It's a dangerous job and they're doing a great job.
They are,
And,
no
it's-
doubt about
It's
it.
nice for them to be appreciated.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Bill. Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Good, thank you. My name's Kelly Smith. I live at 146 Main Street,
Mhm.
Fort Monmouth.
Mhm.
I'm here with a couple of my neighbors. We
Okay.
have a petition here from 14 different residences on that road, requesting some sort of assistance in terms of speeding.
Okay.
Right now, the speed limit is 35 miles an hour,
Mhm.
which is probably too fast for that stretch of road to begin with, but people are doing at least 50.
Okay.
60, 70. I've got video of people just flying. One of the residents are moving because they had a baby. He's a toddler now, and they feel the road's not safe to live on with a child. One person moved in about a year ago, and their car has been sideswiped at least 3 times in the last year. I think your cars have been sideswiped also? It's very excessive. And we think it's because it's just a straight road. It looks like a runway. There's
I've
nothing.
traveled it many times.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a feeling of
Mhm.
of taxiing, a
Right.
plane, I can understand that. All right, would you be able to supply that petition?
Mhm.
And if, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No.
you're more than welcome to continue. But could you supply it to Laura, sitting right there? And,
I didn't make copies, so take care of that.
what was your address again? Just tell me again.
146 Main Street. I have a separate issue
Sure.
from that, so do I get another 5 minutes?
No,
The
but
clock
go ahead.
start over?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, so my house in particular, my neighbor and I have been discussing the driveway situation. The driveway and the curb was created incorrectly at the time of the curbs being created. And my driveway was created way much larger, so it's on his side of the property.
Okay.
So he's put up the divider finally, separating our properties, which made my driveway about this big. And I drive a truck, and I had to continuously go up onto my lawn in order to get in, because the driveway is now this
You saying
big.
that- just so I understand.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look at it. But
I
just-
have I have both of the property surveys, his and mine, if you want to look.
Is this about curb cuts?
Yes, and
Go ahead.
I think we've spoken on the phone. I'm Ted Maloney, I'm the Public Works Director. We
Mhm.
talked about this.
Yep.
So essentially what happened was your driveway used to be over or very close to the neighbor's property, over onto the property.
It's over.
So when we worked on the road years ago, we put the curb cut, obviously where your driveway was. Now your neighbor is reclaiming part of that property,
Mhm.
and now you have to shift your driveway back over to your side.
Right,
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to add to our capital program, this work to move your driveway apron back over to
okay,
where it belongs. It's
perfect.
just that we're in the middle of the process now with our contractor, and they've done all their concrete work. But I'm aware of it, and I know we talked about it, and I think I've sent you emails about it. So, I've looked at it many times, I've been out there a few times, and it's a situation that happens every once in a while, but obviously, when we did that, we put the driveway apron where your driveway was, so.
Right, right.
So we'll go back and correct that hopefully in the near future.
Very good, very good.
And I'm not sure if how it's working out now, whether you can get in your driveway through that curb cut or not, I don't know.
I have my driveway paved,
Okay.
and I did have to, cut the curb a little bit
Okay.
so that I can get in. With the speeding on the road, it was very difficult to pull up onto that curb and onto my front lawn. I didn't mind parking on my front lawn, to be honest. But with the speeding, people do not want to slow down for you to get in and out of your regular driveway when you do have enough room to get
Right,
in.
and we also
So-
just paved that section of road too.
I
so
know,
that's
I was
gonna make it-
hopeful that something was going to happen at the same time, but it didn't.
Has your, so just so I understand,
Mhm.
because I'm looking at this survey here.
Yes, that one's mine.
So your driveway was infringing on your neighbor's property line
Yes,
that he or she said was okay?
I guess. I mean, I had no idea that it was over like that. I had no idea. And then I had this survey done not that long ago, and you could see where he writes on there, driveway over. The surveyor?
Hmm.
Yeah, he writes on there, driveway
Yeah,
over.
I see that.
Yeah, so it wasn't like an official driveway, it wasn't paved, it was just like, dirt.
What is it now?
I just paved it, but it's paved appropriately because my neighbor put up the divider.
What kind of divider?
He just put up like,
Hedges? Or
not hedges, but like a little wood, like planks. Yeah, railroad ties, thank you.
Okay.
He put up railroad ties so that everyone can see like the difference. And you could see like when you get to the end, like his side of the property is like, there's a whole space there because that's where the driveway, we all thought it was. But he knew that it was wrong and he just never said anything until recently. And then he put in the railroad ties to show where
Yeah.
my property is supposed to end and his is. But you could see that the curb is like far over.
Got it.
Yeah, so people would be confused. So if I had somebody coming to the house to do work, like bring stones or,
You put asphalt down?
I did. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other member of the public? Yeah, come on down.
Good evening. My name's Don Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive. I believe earlier, Tony, you said that the police officer's ordinance was going to be adopted. And it actually was adopted tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, just be yourself. Okay? And something else there too. But anyway, getting back to what Melanie was talking about earlier about people running red lights, and that's townwide. Whenever I'm sitting at a red traffic light, there's always cars running through, 3-4 cars through a red light. I think we need to enforce that a little bit better around town. It would prevent a lot of accidents from taking place. And there's a section of Main Street, the south side of 36, over by Crystal Pond. Like most of Main Street has been paved now.
Yep.
But just north of Crystal Pond, almost to Murphy Road, has not been paved. And that's just about the only section going from Geary Drive to the highway. And there's still a sign up warning people about the rough road ahead, just before Crystal Pond, just south of Crystal Pond on Main Street. I was wondering if we were going to pave that portion of Main Street. A lot of people have been asking me about that. That was an area that was, had some big ruts in it, you might say. And that part has been patched, but there's sections on either side that have not. I was wondering if we were going to complete that section of pavement.
I don't think we have that on our list, Don.
What you say?
But we do miscellaneous paving around town, obviously, and those other sections were done by the utility companies.
Right.
Although part of it down by the school was done by the town.
Yeah, there's a section on that part of the road that's been dug up by utility companies too. You might want to check that
The
out.
section you're talking about?
Yeah,
All right, so maybe I'll check that out. Maybe it's scheduled to be
yeah.
done.
It's like over by Sunset and that area, Sunset Avenue.
Right, the water company did a lot of work off the side
Yeah.
streets back there. I'll look at that and see
Yeah.
what we can do to, we do like to finish up those, fill those gaps in.
Yeah, I know people, they like to take Middle Road up to Hazlet and stuff, and they're always saying, how come they're not paving this road? And
Yep.
I say, well, they're gonna pave it from, Harmony to Geary, and then they got the pavement out to the highway, and what about this part here?
Yeah, and from.
That's what I'm
Geary-
doing here.
From Geary up to, to Palmer's not done either, so it's,
Right,
That's
that's
not
in
so
pretty
bad.
good shape.
yeah, yeah.
There's not so many dips in the road.
I'll take a look at
One
this
second.
section and see. I
All right.
didn't think it was that bad, but if it could use it, we'll try to get it on the list.
Yeah, I was just wondering, it just looks incomplete.
Yeah, it's nice to finish it up when we have that, yeah. I'll take a look and see.
All right, and we just bought a pavement roller, right?
We did, we bought a roller.
Wasn't that in the
Yep.
resolution tonight?
Mhm.
So we're getting closer to doing our own roads, right?
And we're trying to do some,
Yeah.
start small, yep.
You got the asphalt spreader now?
We have a paver that was a military surplus that we're going to try to use.
Okay,
It needs some work, but we're going to try to use that too.
cool.
We're hoping to expand and get some paving done, yep.
How about a grader? What do they call that? When you chew up the street?
The Miller.
Miller, yeah, over by
Fine.
Miller Avenue there, that's right.
Buying some some more milling machines too.
You got some milling machines too?
We have one,
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
Great,
small.
it's all right. There's only a small section of road that needs to be paved. Thank you very
All right,
much.
thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Seeing no other member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and adjourn.
Second.
Committeeman Clark,
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you all.